at the 100 Black Women's annual Golden Girls Tea at the Fairmont, and I am in great company with Miss Eileen Hernandez and Doris Ward. Ladies, tell me about the importance and significance of attending this tea today.
Well, I think you ought to ask that of Doris because she's been such a marvelous member of this organization for many, many years, and she's now one of the officers of it as well. And I'm delighted to be a guest of hers here today.
How are you, Ms. Ward?
Oh, I'm fine, thank you.
Your organization does such great work in the community. Tell me about what this tea means for you.
Well, I think it's important to involve Black people, to let them step up to the plate, and to help support this tea. Because when they support the tea, the money that they pay for the tea helps do the things that we need to have done. And Black people, as you know, need stuff all over the United States. And we need organizations in every community in this country to get those things done.
You're absolutely right. And you're one of the ladies and trailblazers that have gotten a lot done. And we thank you so much. Hi, Commissioner Francis Luster. It's so good to see you.
It is fantastic to see all of these lovely hats and all of these lovely women to celebrate our heritage. The Golden Girls hats and gloves. Thank you for having me here.
I'm honored to be at this fabulous event here at the Fairmont in the Crown Room, as you can see, overlooking the wonderful San Francisco Bay Area, and just honored to be amongst wonderful women who do great things in regards to women and children here in the communities of the San Francisco Bay Area and beyond.
State Senator Leno and Supervisor Wiener, it's so great to have you both here. Tell me about your support here of the 100 Black Women's Tea.
Well, I come every year. I'm a big fan of gloves and hats, and of course all the very important advocacy work that the National Coalition of 100 Black Women do on a regular basis, supporting not only the professional women, 6,000 members now in 60 chapters across the country, but really as a national voice for African American women across the country. And they do such a great job, and a progressive group of women who promote issues of social justice and economic justice. It's
so appropriate to have you here because you're an advocate for the community.
Those are the same things that Supervisor Wiener and I fight for in our legislative work, so it's good to be among coalition partners.
Absolutely. And Supervisor Wiener, this luncheon takes place in the midst of Women's History Month, kicking it off. What are your thoughts there and your advocacy as well?
I think it's so important to have civic organizations like the National Coalition who are really working in the community with government and making sure that we're addressing some of the real needs in our community. And, sometimes people assume that government can do it all, and we know that that's not true. And without civic organizations working in the community, change doesn't happen.
It's a partnership, isn't it?
Absolutely. We have to all work together and move our community forward.
diversity, we salute the women and the honorees today for their ability to achieve greatness. Thank you all for coming out today, and I want to introduce the person that will introduce our MC, and that's Tamika Shenell.
And I am super honored to introduce our fabulous Mistress of Ceremonies, Mademoiselle Renel Brooks Moon, who is our local Bay Area personality, who we love to hear and who we love to see, and who keeps us current on day-to-days here in the Bay Area. So can I get a warm welcome, please? Thank you. Since 1997, Renel has been the morning show host on 98.1 KISS FM. In 2000, Renel was honored to be named public address announcer for the San Francisco Giants. Uh-oh. Can I get a hand? The first African-American in Major League Baseball history to serve as PA announcer. Her scorecard from Game 3 of the 2002 World Series Giants versus Angels is enshrined in the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame in Cooperstown, recognizing her as the first woman and first African American to announce a professional sports championship of any kind. In 2008, Renel returned to Mills College to receive an honorary doctorate of arts and literature. Renel is a founding member of the Friends of Faith, very dear to my heart also, a nonprofit organization. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm pleased to welcome you, host of 98.1 KISS FM and your San Francisco Giants announcer, Dr. Renel Brooks Moon.
I just want to say I love you, Shenell. You're amazing. So amazing. Well, sisters, look at all of y'all in your hats. By the way, I must get a replica hat from the Queen of England. Make sure I do that for next year, everybody. And fellas, not to be outdone, you're looking quite dapper yourselves. Give yourselves a round. I am so happy to be part of this wonderful event focused on bridging the generations. And as I look around the room, I see many beautiful golden girls, some of my dear friends and respected colleagues. The concept of coming together to honor magnificent women from our own community is one that we hope will certainly continue and absolutely continue as a tradition here in San Francisco. I'm very, very proud to have two young women of color working with me on my KISS FM morning show, both of whom interned for me when they were beginning their careers. And for me to be able to give them this opportunity is so rewarding to me, because when I started out in broadcasting in 1985, now I was fortunate to have several men who were very supportive of me, but truth be told, it was still at that time a good old boys network for real. I didn't have any women in radio, and certainly any women of color, to kind of really guide me and help me out. So I'm just so honored to have this opportunity to be able to support and encourage these young women as they move on in their careers. I was very fortunate, however, to have met, as my career moved on, Pam Moore, Faith Fancher, Barbara Rogers, Valerie Coleman, and the Queen Bee, Miss Belva Davis. Come on now. So fortunate to have them all take me under their wings. Bridging the generations. So important for all of us to show our young people what can be accomplished with hard work, dedication, and passion. Others did it for us, and we must continue to do it for them. And I don't know about you all, but I think our young people need us now more than ever. And we must not let them down.
British Airways is leading the world in serving afternoon tea on their long leg trips. So as recently as influenced by Dorchester, around 3 o'clock, when they're fainting and want a little pick-me-up, they're serving afternoon tea on their flights. All I can say is, like with any great trend, I guarantee if you take any other trip in the next few years on an airline, Mexico, Central America, and even the Caribbean, both the lesser and the greater Antilles, but nevertheless, tea is gaining popularity throughout the world. So since 2010, tea again is gaining popularity. We have drunk 6.8 gallons less soft drinks than in previous years. And so that is a really major thing. That was 2010. I'd like to think in 2013 we're even another 6% lower, so we're really doing good. 6, interestingly enough, the trend is among young people. Maybe you have college students going through college. More of them drink tea than coffee these days. That, I thought, was an unprecedented statistic and trend. And the reason is that they're really recognizing the health benefits of tea. And if you think about it, it's about $1 less at Starbucks than a cup of coffee. So I think when they're on tight budgets, this is definitely a great trend. I would say now, whether you're in the air or on the ground, you can enjoy a great cup of coffee and a lovely afternoon tea as we're experiencing here today. So thanks a lot for allowing me this quick little 5-10 minute talk. Thanks.
Miss Cindy.
Community. But one of the things I wanted to do was to also recognize some legends that we have here, because this is Women History Month, and I wanted to give a lot of respect to the Honorable Doris Ward, who's been very inspiring for all the things that she does and has continued, because she's helped pave the way for a lot of us, and as well as Eileen Berendez. You're welcome. And I know with Eileen and Doris, they've been very inspirational, as well as I've gone through different political moments and deciding on life's journey where to go. And they've been just very inspiring and very encouraging to me. But also I want to congratulate all of the honorees, past and present, of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, because you're doing a lot of wonderful things, such as I have my dear friend Judge Karen Clopton of the PUC. She's been doing some wonderful work there. Now, I want to also highlight the importance of women owning businesses. And one of the big things is that with women-owned businesses, we have the economic power and the voices to be heard and influence the elections, which we so know from the November election results. And that women can and be elected into office. And that's why it's important that we had the project that was called the 2012 project, that was by Mary Hughes, to get more women elected. Then also the hard work of the National Coalition, all of the different organizations out there that are pushing for the initiatives of women, including the group called Emerge. Because it's making sure that our voices are being heard and that we're at the table to help influence the decisions. But we can't stop now. Our work is not yet done. Women in our nation and in our world still face so many challenges. This Women's History Month, we must recommit ourselves to the struggle for true equality and opportunities. We must remind ourselves how hard we fought to get where we are today. But it is our responsibility to carry on the legacy of those before us. And that is our great honor, to pave the way for those that still have to come. And that's why I'm running for California State Assembly in District 8025 in 2014. It's to help advance the causes of women so we have a voice at the state level. I want to thank you so much for this honor. I want to also mention that, we cannot do everything by ourselves. And in a quote from President Kennedy, it comes to mind, no matter how talented an individual may be, no matter how much energy he or she may possess, regardless of how much integrity and honesty he or she may have. If that person is alone, they accomplish very little. Together, we can make a difference in our community now and in the future. I look forward to working with each and every one of you. God bless you all, and thank you so much for today.
All right, it is time now for yet another inspiring musical performance. Ivana has studied piano since she was 5 years old. Her natural ability to play by ear was further developed by the Suzuki method of piano playing. Ivana was trained to play classical music, but in recent years, she has developed a passion for jazz. So I can't wait to hear her play. Here she is, everyone, Ivana! Artistry. It was amazing to witness. I'm gonna cry. These young people today are just killing me. First of all, we are thrilled and honored to have with us today a woman who has been working tirelessly for us for years on Capitol Hill, Democratic leader, the Honorable Nancy Pelosi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for the honor to be with you today. Thank you so much, all of you in this room, for your leadership. Renel, we're also proud of you. You talked about bridging generations. There's lots of bridging going on here today, and I want to speak about some of it. I'm so pleased to be here with State Senator Mark Leno, who is with us, and Scott Wiener, our supervisor from San Francisco. This has been quite a week, and so appropriate that we should gather here today, just as Black History Month is ending and Women's History Month is beginning. March is Women's History Month, and so here we are. When Renel was talking about how beautiful everybody looked, I was thinking, it just took me back to the fact that we're observing this year the 150th anniversary of the Emancipation Proclamation. And I say that because we all gathered at the archives, the National Archives, on New Year's Eve, and there was presentations of families before emancipation and after emancipation. And when the bell rang, they had Harriet Tubman. She didn't actually do that at that time, but they had an enactment of Harriet Tubman ringing the bell. And why I mention it, why it relates to what we're doing here today, is this following. 2 years later, when Abraham Lincoln was inaugurated for a second term, it was the first time that African Americans, black people, whatever they were called at the time, attended the inauguration as a free people. You know, there would be some people there who were assistants or this or that, you know what I mean by that. And so the man who wrote the book about Lincoln's greatest speech, Lincoln's second inaugural, he makes the point in there that it rained for days before Lincoln, and even that morning and off and on, could he go outside, will the sun come out, all of that. But the white folk who attended the inauguration came in their foul weather gear. The streets were dirt to begin with, there were mud in the rain, and they were not going to mess up their good clothes. But the blacks coming for the first time as free people, as en masse, to the inauguration of Abraham Lincoln, they came in their Sunday finest, in their Sunday finery, and it's always been the same. Always been the same. So coming here today, hats and gloves, a replica of the Queen, always about the dignity with which the community always has presented itself. For time, they had Sunday respected, so that could be respected for Lincoln. That's one connection. I'm glad to be here with Maxine Hickman. I'm sorry, I don't think Eva Patterson is here yet. She gave the keynote address, the speech when my daughter graduated from law school, so we've all been close to her for a while. Alicia, wonderful to be with you, Madam President. So proud of you and Mills College. And Teresa Cox, the keynote speaker today. So I'll go around the room and talk about so many of you. Renel mentioned Belva Davis, and again, another bridge. Earlier this week, this has been quite a week. Earlier this week, we dedicated a statue in the capital of the United States to Rosa Parks. The President of the United States did us the honor of coming to that. Belva Davis did us the honor of coming to that. And especially for you, Renel, I want to say that in my remarks, I had the four leaders, House, Senate, Democrat, Republican, and the President spoke at this ceremony. So in my remarks, I told them that I had invited Willie Mays to the baseball, to the, I don't have to tell you, or anyone, to the ceremony. Willie Mays grew up in Alabama. He saw, he knew what went on there. I invited him. He couldn't come because of something, procedure or something, but he sent a beautiful letter which I conveyed to Rosa Parks' family. And in it he talks about how courageous she was and what a difference it made and what an inspiration she was. Oh my gosh, everybody loved it. So Willie Mays couldn't be there, but the President said to me yesterday when we had the big meeting on the sequester, well, you talked about Willie Mays. I took Willie Mays to the All-Star game in Air Force One. He's fine, it's just something about his eyes. I said, I know, Mr. President, I didn't go into that. And Harry Reid, who was sitting next to the President, said, during your speech, the President told me that about the All-Star game. In any event, all roads come through here one way or another, and we're all very proud of it. Amos Brown was there, Belva Davis was there, Leona Bridges was there, the president of University of San Francisco. We had a great San Francisco representation in any event. What also happened earlier that morning, oh, by the way, shamelessly and immodestly, I told them that I spoke at Rosa Parks' funeral. And when I spoke at her funeral, I got a standing ovation because I told them that we are passing legislation to establish a statue of Rosa Parks in the Capitol. Jesse Jackson Jr. and John Kerry were the two authors of the bill, but I promised them as leader that I was going to get that bill through. Now, she died. This funeral was November 2nd. November 2nd. By December 1st, the bill was on President Bush's desk, and he signed it exactly 50 years to the day that Rosa Parks refused to give up her seat on the bus. She was orchestrating even the timing. She died in time to have a funeral that lasted 7 hours, so that we could go back to work and pass a bill that would be signed 50 years to the day. It was perfect timing. But hey, that earlier that morning, many of us were on the steps of the Supreme Court, because inside that court, they were taking up a bill they should not, a law that they should never have been taking up, was to review the Voting Rights Act. I took special interest in that because the most recent Voting Rights Act was written in my office with John Lewis and Mel Watt and other members of our Congressional Black Caucus. It was a strong protection for our democracy, And you should have seen the crowds out there, and every reverend and all the preachers and all the members of Congress and all the rest out there on behalf of liberty and justice for all. And so that was quite a day. Not over yet. We left, and with the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, with your help, later in the day, we finally passed the Violence Against Women. Just a couple of days before, Dr. Alice Howard, your national president, was with me at a press conference where we were pushing for it. Some of you came to Washington in September when we all promised that we would get this done. There were some, shall we say, not to get political, but on the other side, who did not want to bring this bill up. But because of you and the outside mobilization, the insistence, it happened. Now, one day, voting rights in the Supreme Court, Rosa Parks, I can't wait to come back and see her statue in the Capitol of the United States. She joined Sojourner Truth, which I was happy to put into the Capitol. In any event, that's just some of the connections that we have to talk about. We have important work to do as we go forward. This week, as you know, yesterday we met with the president to talk about the sequester. You know, what does that mean? What does that word mean? That means unemployment, and it means worse for women. Worse for women, and worse for women of color. So this is not a good thing. So the fights that we are having are the same missions that you are on. Bridging generations, this particular T about employment and training of young women. The president talked about it in his speech, what he said, that women should have earn a living equal to their efforts. In the State of the Union, he talked about it in his inaugural address as well. But enough of this incremental. We're here, we want the full recognition. Tomorrow, this is quite a week, I'm saying. Tomorrow, two things will happen. In Selma, Alabama, John Lewis will be leading a march. Not quite 50 years, but a long time since that march. But at that same time in Washington, we will be observing the 100th anniversary of the Women's March for the Vote in Washington, D.C. The Women's March for the Vote. And one of the banners, I did not know this until this 100th anniversary, one of the banners that they carried, my friend, said, good enough to have your babies, good enough to have the vote. So in any event, we've come a long way, but we still have a long way to go. And I believe that the key to the next success, to unleash the full power and the contribution of women, will be affordable child care for all of America's families, for all of America's families. This has been a major obstacle. So we have passed health, the president called for the passage of the Paycheck Fairness Act, and we're on a path to try to get that done. We need work because there is opposition. We passed Lilly Ledbetter and what that means to women having the right to equal pay. We passed a health care bill where no longer will be a woman be a pre-existing medical condition and you have to pay more because you're a woman. But we do have a missing link in all of that. In my view, that is the link of child care, affordable, quality child care for all Americans. We want sick leave, we want paid sick leave, we want family and medical leave, paid family and medical leave. We want all of these kinds of things. And then we will have a more perfect union. We will have everyone contributing, whether it's at home, in the workplace, in school. I promise you, if we reduce the role of money in politics, increase the level of civility, make child care available, we will have many, many more women in positions of power, in government, in politics, in the private sector, in the academic world, in the military. We'll have a stronger national security, a better and fairer economy, more wholesome politics, and the rest. Everything you can mention will be more wholesomely affected, more positively advanced by the increased participation of women. So I thank the National Coalition of 100 Black Women for what you are doing to make it so. I look forward to continuing our work together nationally and here at home in San Francisco. And I want to end, Renel, where you began with complimenting Shenell. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she lovely? And how appropriate that you started with the Lord's Prayer. That's the prayer that Christ himself taught us, and it continues to have such an enduring value because it is the shared values that we have here today contained in that blessing and in that prayer. And with the national anthem, we will not stop until victory is ours. Thank you all very much.
The 2013 awards. Can I just say, first of all, how excited I am to see so many of my friends today receiving much deserved recognition for what they do. Now, when the honorees are presented to you this afternoon, you will hear in their introductions and read in their biographies terms such as the first, the founder, the creator, innovative entrepreneur. All of these deserving honorees have accomplished so much in their lives and in their careers, overcoming numerous obstacles that many of us can't even imagine, and they all share a true passion for what they do. So I cannot wait for all of you to meet them, but right now I do want to acknowledge our very special guests who are in the house, lending their support this afternoon. And we are family, and I got all my sisters with me. Congratulations on the occasion of being honored with the, for Marilyn French Speller, congratulations on the occasion of being honored. Yes! With the Health Award, the 8th Annual Generations event by the National Coalition of 100 Black Women Incorporated, San Francisco chapter. I commend your efforts to enrich our lives while serving as a distinguished leader in our community. It is through the dedication and determination of individuals such as you that the future becomes brighter for all of us. Congratulations and thank you for all that you do. Senator, the 11th District, State of California, Mark Renel. All right. So,
I just want to say thank everyone. Thank you for engaging me with these honors, and that's all I have to say.
The Leadership Award goes to my good friend Naomi Kelly. In January 2012, Naomi Maria Kelly was appointed by Mayor Ed Lee to serve a 5-year term as City Administrator for the City and County of San Francisco. As City Administrator, Naomi oversees the city's General Service Agency, consisting of 20 departments, divisions, and programs. The General Services Agency has an annual budget of over $450 million and approximately 2,100 employees. In this capacity, Naomi's objective is to ensure responsible fiscal management and accountability to those who pay taxes. Naomi is the first woman and the first African American to serve in this position. She regrets that she is unable to join us today. Accepting the award on her behalf, let's welcome the Honorable Karen Clopton. Karen?
family commitments. Family is first, and it's first for all of us. Thank the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, and Madam President, thank you so much.
Next up, the recipient of the Community Service Award, Catherine Summers, registered nurse and president, NC100BWSF Adopt a School program. And I cannot even begin to tell you all how much I love this woman. For 52 years, Catherine J. Summers has been committed to serving others. As a registered nurse, she performed her job well. Catherine is president of the NC100BWSF Adopt a School program, founding member and CEO of the Bayview Imani Breast Cancer Support Group, and founder facilitator of the Jenkins Summers Memorial Scholarship Fund, raising money to support African American nursing students at City College of San Francisco. She also serves with me on the board of the Friends of Faith Breast Cancer Foundation. Ms. Catherine is very passionate about her work in the community, and she is actively involved with issues on breast health and other health disparities in the African American community. Ms. Catherine is my neighbor, and she's my second mommy, so please join me in congratulating this year's Community Service Award winner, Catherine J. Summers.
Thank you to everyone. I'm just a humble person. I do what I do, not for recognition, but because I love doing it. And I will continue to do it as long as I can put one foot in front of the other. You know, as you get older and everything, you get slower.
On now to another dear friend of mine who is receiving the Trailblazer Award. She is the multi-talented Janice Edwards, award-winning talk show host, producer, media coach, published author, and acclaimed contributor to community empowerment through her media work. Janice is the host and executive producer of Bay Area Vista, airing on ION TV Thursday mornings at 6 a.m. in both the Bay Area and Sacramento, on Korea TV Sundays at 4 p.m. Janice is also host and co-exec producer of the show she named Signature Silicon Valley, which airs Tuesdays at 7 on Korea TV's Silicon Valley channel. Janice's career in broadcasting began in Atlanta, Georgia, y'all, as co-host of a teen radio talk show. She continued to work in radio and to write for Spanish and English newspapers as an undergraduate at Harvard University and a graduate student at UC Berkeley School of Journalism. Before graduating cum laude from Harvard, she studied in Spain. She has been the recipient of numerous professional and civic awards. She is a founding member of the Friends of Faith Breast Cancer Foundation and my media sister friend for over 20 years. We have been fighting the good fight together for a long time. I am so proud of Janice and so blessed to know her and have her in my life. She is so gifted and so amazing. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2013 Trailblazer Award winner, the Super Bad, Janice Edwards.
What an introduction from Nell. Thank you, Nell. I love you too. And this is, thank you, Dr. Hickman and the 100 Black Women of San Francisco. And I have to start with thanking God. You know, I have a couple of words to say, and I promise you I'll be brief, but I have to tell you, and I think some of you will understand. As I was sitting here, and Teresa, you so eloquently talked about your family, and thank you again for everything. And my mom was ill for over 16 years, and she passed July 2nd, 2011. And right now, her presence is so strongly with me that it's just brought tears to my eyes. And I feel so blessed, so I just want to say that I dedicate this to her, Dr. Charlie B. Thompson Edwards, from Atlanta, Georgia. That's right. Who taught with Dr. King's sister at Morehouse College, and to my dad, Attorney John Latimer Edwards, who was a Morehouse man, and married by Dr. Benjamin E. Mays. And he encouraged me to do what I love to do. He was an attorney for many years, and just before, about 7 years before he passed, he gave that up to teach. And he said, do what you love to do. even if you don't get paid for it. Now, I didn't know there were such jobs in television. I unfortunately found them along the way, but I've also been so extremely blessed. So I want to dedicate it to them, and I just want to say,
the Education Award goes to Alicia DeCudro. Alicia began her tenure as 13th president of Mills College on July 1st, 2011. Born in Chicago, Illinois, she received a Bachelor of Arts degree in English and Political Science from Wellesley College in 1976, and a Doctor of Law degree from the Indiana University School of Law at Bloomington in 1978. And while she was doing that, I was studying at Mills College, never knowing that our paths would one day come full circle. She has served in a variety of important executive leadership roles over the span of the past 3 decades. This year's Education Award winner, Her Royal Highness, Madam President, the phenomenal Alicia A. DeCudro.
I'm proud to say that Mills is living proof of the power of educating women, and I think we just heard a little bit more from someone who is proof of the power of educating women. Since its founding, Mills has empowered women to overcome social barriers that have excluded them from educational and career opportunities.
I'm proud to say that I have won every case that I went on foreclosures. In fact, I, at table 17, can support my practice. I thank you so very much. I thank you so very much for the recognition and the honoring services. And your presence.
The show-stopping one-woman powerhouse herself, 2013 Arts Award recipient Felicia Gaston. Felicia has been hailed by Tom Peters, Executive Director of the Marin Community Foundation, as a one-woman powerhouse, a leader and teacher who has the ability to match passion with results. Her latest undertaking is the formation of a new organization, Phoenix Project of Marin, and the mission is to develop a wide range of preventative, intervention-centered, and results-oriented programs designed to address and bring resolution to the many challenges facing youth in Marin City.
Hello, my name is Cecilia Thomas, and I am the Community Health Programs Manager at California Pacific Medical Center. I'm also the incoming Director of the African American Breast Health Program at CPMC. I want you to know that it's extremely important, as we've said and heard throughout this afternoon, that women's health is extremely important. And I'm sort of compelled to tell you that in 2012, 73 black women had mammograms. That's not enough. That is not enough. And we have to do a bit of a better job in 2013. So thank you very much for listening.
We absolutely love and admire all of you so much and appreciate everything that you do. And I do believe, Madam President, that we have accomplished what we set out to do here today. We have successfully bridged the generations, ladies and gentlemen. And now for a special presentation, I'd like to bring to the podium President Emeritus, Chartering President, and founding member of the San Francisco chapter of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women. Please welcome Eileen Murphy Reed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Normally, the role of a founding member is to cover the last year of what has happened within the chapter, as well as the good things as well as the bad things. If we have them, we don't have bad days. We just do lots of good things, and we appreciate so much having you come. Now, if you recall, 2 years ago, all of you worked the Tuskegee Airmen to death. Everyone wanted them to come. You know they're up in age, but they came anyway. They were happy to do it. But they are getting old. My husband, Benjamin, is also a Tuskegee Airman. Promising, showing pictures of the red tape not have. So, as is usually true for me, I will get you one, and I'll make sure you receive it. Well, of course, your word is your bond. And my mother taught me never break your promise to anyone, especially the red tails. So, I want to have you share with me what I put together for the Tuskegee Airmen. They were not able to attend. And though very ill because he had a cerebral cranial hemorrhage, then I asked him I just brought him up with me as a Tuskegee Airman to take it in their name. So if you will, that is museum framed. And if you don't allow anyone to break the back of it or do anything, it will last a lifetime. There are 2 of the photos, and we took special care to make sure that it was something for them to remember in their chapter in Alameda. So, enjoy with me and appreciate with them this presentation of the Tuskegee Airmen, the red tail, as is indicated by the red, just a very sensitive flag. So I asked President Maxine Hickman and my son Benjamin to share this moment with us. And I appreciate your attendance and your patience. Thank you.
And she is our future. I don't know her name, but she's got her tiara on her head and she looks amazing. Sweetheart, can you stand up on your chair so everybody can see you? Look at you! We're expecting big things from you in the future, little lady. She looks nice. Look at her. Work the room, baby girl. Work the room.
Carol Taylor. Cecilia Thomas, California Pacific Medical Center, is one of our sponsors. Cecilia, let's give Cecilia a hand. We have Reverend Dr. Alfred Ray Gentle, pastor of the Cosmopolitan Baptist Church. I might add that Cosmopolitan Baptist Church and California Pacific Medical Center are 2 of our sponsors for this year. California Pacific has been a sponsor for us from the very beginning, so this is their 8th year. We have ladies from the National Council of Negro Women. If you could please raise your hand. Thank you very much. We have board members from the South Market Health Center. I give special thanks and recognition to our Mistress of Ceremonies, Renel Brooks Moon, all honorees, city officials, program participants, program committee, and all NCBW members for whatever role you played, and for all of you that are in attendance today. What you are doing here today will help to make this day one that remains indelibly etched in our hearts and minds as unforgettable. Our San Francisco chapter continues supporting breast cancer awareness and breast health education, HIV/AIDS education, and financial literacy programs, which assist emancipating the youth of San Francisco. To our many sponsors and community partners, Thank you. All of us together can get the job done and make the difference not only in our community and society, but in the world.